What's up, dog? Are you enthusiastic about the show today?
So, two thoughts on that. One, imagine the technical skill you have to do that in that stupid ass costume. And that person's like, man, I am kicking ass in these drums. And the only gig I can get is to drum in this stupid ass suit.
That was fun, though, man.
It was. What you got there? What are you pouring out first there, buddy?
This is fun also. We have Lazy Monk Brewing. I get to thank my friend Landon Tierney, who does he's the other third of the Badger Beer Hour. We have 2/3 of us tonight. But we have the heavy breakfast coffee beer. 8.5. I like the whole breakfast coffee beer because then it makes me figure out what we got here. And I don't know what we got here. I believe is a brown ale with coffee.
Kind of looks like it. It doesn't look super dark.
No. There's a it's coffee. This isn't a stout. I could tell by just the way it finishes. Mm-hmm. It's not a stout. Probably a lighter ale. Again, I'm gonna guess maybe even an amber. There's a lot of coffee there. It's a little roasty too. Mm-hmm. It's kind of light. So yeah, I would like it because you know how the breakfast beers are. A lot of them are heavy stouts. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't want to start with a stout. This is a lighter one, so I like this one. What's going on with you?
Well, I am going to start going against my normal thing about labels.
Oh.
That is a god-awful label. But it's a strawberry lemonade Gosa. So I think we were talking last week about how I had seen a lot of those, and this just came out. So we're going to see how that is.
Well, it's good to hear you say not every label is great. Because sometimes I get...
It's not. It's definitely like my son was like, oh, it's kind of cool. It looks like I think he said bad wallpaper or something. Yeah, you're kind of right.
Not good.
Kind of poured pretty heavy there, so let that settle.
Bad wallpaper. Wow. Okay.
I probably shouldn't have brushed my teeth before I started the show.
Yep. Probably.
It's probably not a great idea. Because citrus.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't get a lot of the salt characteristics that you normally get out of a Gosa. It's like a tart sour. Decent. Nothing super remarkable, but you definitely get some strawberry, and the lemon is definitely present. So it's solid. This would be really good on a hot day.
Strawberry lemonade, though, is it? Do you feel that? Are you getting a lot of it?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it's not like, when you have strawberry lemonade, you get the strawberry flavor. Strawberry is so strong, but like it's just not quite as strong.
All right.
Yeah, I handed it over to Jill, and she needed a second sip to make sure that she could get an opinion on it.
Well, we're starting to see Gosas now. Remember, we were talking about how we haven't seen them, and it's kind of been a thing, and what the hell's going on with them. So that's good and interesting.
Yeah.
All right, man. So our guest tonight is the Wisconsin Beer Baron. He's been on here once, but I think it was with Landon, and we were announcing the Badger Beer Hour, which is a stream that we do every third Wednesday in the month, talking about Badger beer. Chris is amazing news curious. He is on the hot tip of almost everything that's going on in Wisconsin as far as beer goes. So that's a good person for me to have as a friend. We're going to talk about his day job today too, which is going to be cool. And we'll talk a little bit about Badger Beer Hour. I wanted to make sure that I had all my beers ready here before we bring them on. I don't know, Doug. I need to do this one today. I keep bringing it on. Real quick before we bring them back, have you seen these still? Are they still doing these?
Yep, I just saw them today, as a matter of fact. So yes,
have they bridged out, or are they still?
They have a couple others. I don't remember exactly what they are off the top of my head, but next time I see them, I'll send you a photo.
Good to see Southern Tier still thriving in this crazy ass time. So let's bring on Chris, the Wisconsin Beer Baron. Hello.
Hello, guys. Thanks for having me on the program. Always nice to join you.
Yeah, so thank you for making our show way better than it was before you got here. So, what are you drinking tonight?
I got a little rip. This is a Normalized Signal, which is a Mosaic and Sabro. Yeah, okay, there you go. DDH double IPA from Hop Butcher for the World in Chicago. They were kind enough to send me a little box of beer last week, and that was very well met. I've drunk about half the beers in there, and they are very, very good. It's as the name implies, they're kind of a hazy IPA specialty shop, but they do a lot of other interesting things. There's a really good Italian Pilsner in there that I got too. So they don't sell a ton of beer up here in Wisconsin yet, but they do have limited kind of self-distro shipments to Milwaukee and Madison. So very nice. And it is very Sabro-y. A lot of coconut going on. Okay. Lots of tropical.
Yes.
Tropical hop there.
Yeah, that's a combo that's gonna make it work for me every time. Mosaic and Sabro. It's just,
yeah. You use Sabro, right? I think we talked about this before.
Yeah, we love. I love my Sabro. I'm not sure how much Doug has had to it, but it isn't one of those. Doug should like it. He should like the profile because it isn't one of these hit you in the face bitter hops. So Doug likes the more subdued. Actually, I'll let Doug say what he likes.
No, you're exactly right. The ones that are like really heavy in your face, that I'm not a super fan of. I don't want my like if it's I don't want it super bitter where my palate's kind of a mess for a bit. Like some people really enjoy that. Like if you
Me.
yeah, just not my style. I'd prefer something a little bit more subtle.
One of the
I'm all about subtlety.
One of the beers in this Hot Butcher box that they sent was it's called Cold Pizza. So one of their kind of I think it's one of their more popular IPAs is called Tavern Cut, and it's not like pizza. It's not a pizza IPA or anything, but it's just a kind of an homage to Chicago style tavern pizza. And not in flavor, it's just the label and the name. But this cold pizza is what they call a cold IPA, and I had not really heard of this, but it's basically a little bit like a Kolsch or something, where you kind of dial down the temperature of all the processes a little bit, and it's not a hazy. It's more of a West Coast style IPA. It's very good. Lots of flavor popping, and I'm not sure what the cold, what the lower fermentation temperatures and normally that would kind of bring the yeast back a little bit, and let the hops and malt shine a little bit more. So that I think that's probably part of it, but I think there's some other aspects of it that I don't quite have fully grasped. But it was very good. So.
Sigh, IPAs and dippers. I know they're hot. Sorry for sighing. Are they still, especially in Wisconsin, are they still as hot as they were coming into pandemic or even previous, Chris? In your opinion?
Yeah. I mean, like think about the milkshake IPA, right? That's not really even an IPA. That's just a beer. But it's called an IPA because IPAs sell, and that's what a lot of people want. Not everybody, and that's good, but it's it's a selling point for a lot of breweries. So yeah.
So I'll jump in here with a question, and then we'll let that do the follow up. But so is there anything you've seen? We talk a bit, so I know a little bit about what you're gonna say, but not everybody does. Is there any trends or anything you're seeing here specifically in Wisconsin, beer wise in the past? I don't know, a couple months, or I don't know. Last time we saw you was pandemic ish.
Yeah, I think things were just getting started, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So, what are you seeing the last couple months, or what are you feeling? What are you hearing?
Well, I mean, I think I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to separate your personal stuff from kind of what you're seeing at large, but I mean, the big thing in the since summer or so is these pretty hot self-distro breweries that had been selling a lot of beer in their tap rooms or in bars and restaurants and stuff in their home markets, opening up limited sales in new states just to kind of keep turning those tanks over and keep the volume up. I'm thinking here in Wisconsin, we never had like Other Half is one of them. Aslan is another one. There's some pretty good ones from Minnesota in Modest. I'm not sure if it's Modest or Modest. I believe it's Black Stack. And a lot of these, another one from Illinois, Phase 3. And I think this is an economic thing that's pandemic related. Interestingly enough, earlier in the summer, why am I blanking? Allagash came in. Yeah, I know. Right? How can you forget that brewery? Allagash came back into Wisconsin and started selling beer here again after, I think it was at least 5 years, probably longer. Not, and that was purely a pandemic move. I don't know if, basically what they're doing is, a lot of breweries move maybe half of their beer through draft accounts. And if every draft account is suddenly gone, you got to do something else. And of course, people are still buying packaged beer, definitely more than they had.
Mm-hmm.
But the margin for that is a lot lower, and you can't. It's tough to just double your production of packaged beer. So within existing markets. So what they're doing is they're saying, okay, for now we're gonna we're gonna work with a distributor in Wisconsin and send a couple trucks of a quarter or whatever it might be, and kind of just establish that and keep the people employed and keep the tanks moving. So so that's the big trend that I've seen, and that's brought some pretty exciting. These are pretty hype breweries, most of them that are opening up here. They all kind of do basically the same. I mean, Allagash aside, all basically do kind of the same thing, which is hazy IPAs. So I mean, that has caused, I think, a glut of that kind of stuff on shelves. But I feel like, I'm not crazy about that style, but I want to see what all the fuss is about. And for the most part, it's lived up to. It's very, very good stuff. But Megan's got another comment here, and this is a good one because this follows the same trend, and this is obviously Dovetail is a completely different profile than what I was just talking about. So Dovetail is a continental European brewery. They do lagers, they do some sours. People even like their Rauch beer. I can't stand smoked beers, but I haven't had that. I haven't had theirs, so maybe it's great. But Dovetail is like, yeah, I've spent a lot of time, or a lot of money and a lot of beers on Dovetail lately, and this is the same deal. It started in Milwaukee this summer, and added Madison, again, self-distribution, just kind of shoe leather type selling to and I think people know the kind the kind of brewery or kind of bottle shops that'll be carrying this kind of stuff. What your better breweries or better bottle shops are in your markets, but that's kind of the model. It's a very similar model with a very different kind of product, and those are where you can find that is in Madison. It's like Trixie's. I think Steve's has them, Brennan's has them, and I think they even are in Woodman's now. Maybe don't quote me on that, but it's most Star is another one. You're kind of small. Independent local bottle shops.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, looking here, man, I see nothing but German styles. So that looks good.
Czechoslovak Lager is one that I am dying. My friend Jenny Faflin created that beer, and I am very excited to try it once we go to Chicago again, or if it would be so nice if they would just bring it to me here in Wisconsin. That would be great.
Isn't that so?
Yeah, they are. I'm not sure about the details of that. I think it's through, I don't know if it's through their website or how that works, but yeah, check out their website or their socials, and they can give you some information about that.
Where is it here? Let's see.
Here you go.
All right, I wonder how they're pulling it off.
They
can ship to New York.
What? And no Wisconsin?
New York.
Yeah, what's up with Wisconsin too?
Okay, screw you guys. You have a way better beer scene than I do.
So I'm ordering cocktail. I definitely want to try their Helles. You definitely want to try their Helles Lager. That's been the one that I've been crushing all summer and all year. And their Kolsch is fantastic. And I would also recommend the Vienna Lager if they've got that available. Looks like they might.
Vienna, yeah.
just really, I mean, they're just fantastic balance and kind of it's got that complexity, but it's also just a crusher all across the board. They specialize in. I mean, they got a couple heavier beers, but really really balanced and light and easy drinking.
Damn, look at this one, guys. 12, 25, 16. Wow.
Yeah, and they do have a cool ship and do some traditional spontaneously fermented beers. So it's a very well-rounded brewery and a fantastic brewery.
Well, damn. Doug, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm wondering if you're seeing it like I'm seeing it, Chris. Just the idea of like, I think we see some breweries that like Dovetail, which they do these styles and they just do the very classic. This is the style I'm making. I'm making it right to the style, and I'm just going to make it right every single time, as opposed to some of the ones that are like, I'm going to do this crazy stuff. And I'm wondering if, like, I've kind of seen, maybe it's also like you said, maybe it's my personal taste is seeing like, well, I just, rather than trying some super crazy stuff, I'm just going to get this that I know is really good, and I'm going to get that. And do you see that there, where it's like you're seeing the more classic styles, people are kind of returning to them a bit? I don't know if it's that way there. That's how I'm perceiving it.
Yeah. I mean, here in Wisconsin, we've kind of always had that with New Glarus. I mean, it's the biggest craft brewery in the state. It's, easily the most successful craft brewery, and their beer is just really fantastic pretty much across the board. Now, I mean, some people don't like it because it's not their thing, but they're not doing hazy IPAs. They're not doing well, except for this one thing that we're not going to talk about. But I mean that's their MO. And some people, I guess if you're looking for double dry hopped pale ales and that sort of thing, that's not really what they do. So, but
sorry, I was gonna say they don't even do a porter. Damn it. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. I mean, they did that sour porter.
I think New Glarus just throws a porter out there every 3-4 years just to shut people like me up, and then like they keep moving on.
We got that out of our way.
They have a ton of new beers, or they have a ton of beers.
Yeah, right.
Like last year they only had one new beer last year that they released because their brewery series was not it wasn't it was on hold because of the pandemic, so they didn't do their big brewery releases, and that's where you see some interesting wild and sour beers and that sort of thing. But they did release one new sour last year. It was called Nectar Ale, and it was really really good. It was like this used like I think it was like a tea. I'd have to go back and look it up, but anyway, to answer the question, I think that has been that is not an underserved market in Wisconsin, and I think what's happened in the last couple of years is more breweries have come into this kind of market, the hazies and that sort of thing, and catching up with the more contemporary styles. But I do see more. Like Lakefront's a good example. Like they're kind of a very balanced portfolio of like barrel aged stuff, and they'll push they do all kinds of things with hops and interesting hoppy beers, and they also have a great flagship amber lager, and so they do basically everything and most of it really well. And the styles that they've been releasing for seasonals and that sort of thing, more recently have been, I think, the more a little bit leaning toward the more traditional stuff. So I mean, I say that although they like their last release was let's see, let me get this right. It's an Imperial Porter with rum barrel aged coffee beans, vanilla, and something else like coconut. So yeah, I mean, so that's the kind of thing. But they have an employee series of beers where, they basically let the employee make kind of whatever they want, and that was the last one. But the one before that was this really solid Vienna lager that was like great. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I don't know how much to read into that, but I guess I'm saying I am reading something into it that there's I think there is a growing current for kind of reliable, well done traditional styles, and I don't think that's just Wisconsin. I think that's probably everywhere. One of the things that bottle shop people talk about with the pandemic is that they're seeing people go back to sure things, and at least early on, when there was all this uncertainty in life and everything, one of the things that and not just in beer, but kind of like all like brands of across the board, Jack Daniel's was selling well, and Miller, like the kind of the standards, and then the craft, the kind of real flagship type craft beers were selling well. So people are going with, or at least they were going with what they were sure was going to be good. So I think that's changed some. It's kind of gone back to like more normal in the last 6 months or so, but at least in that first spring and early summer, that was where everybody's head was at, whether they knew it or not.
Right. So Megan's going to keep asking questions, and we don't care.
Yeah, that's
cool. Right.
Hi, Megan, by the way. Good to see you.
Our brewery starting. Hi, Megan. Nice to meet you. Actually, I'm not familiar with Megan, so that's cool. Our brewery starting to prepare for post-COVID explosion. People going out drinking, or basically going wild, or is it a wait and see mentality? I think I know this answer. It's got to be tough to foresee how things will change and how things are coming down the pike. Great question.
Everybody that I've talked to is just holding on and trying to make it and trying to get through this winter. Winters are really, really tough for breweries anyway, especially January and early February, especially. I don't think, it's just survival mode at this point. One thing I heard here in Wisconsin, in addition to the general lamenting of the Packers losing last Sunday, was that that's a pretty healthy. That's the loss of something that was, I think we were all kind of expecting, a Super Bowl bump in beer sales, and I'm not sure how much to put into that because I don't know how many Super Bowl parties and stuff there are going to be, but that was kind of being seen as a little bit of a ray of light in a very dark season. And things are looking pretty good with vaccines and that sort of thing, but everybody's got to hold on and make it to that point. So we talked about a little bit. There's two things going on in Wisconsin right now that I want to talk about just quickly that are related to exactly this. And one is collaboration beer between Three Sheeps in Sheboygan, Third Space in Milwaukee, and Youngblood Beer in Madison. And they're doing a beer called SOS that just dropped, that just went out and is available this week. And it is a hazy IPA that they wanted to kind of capitalize on that that kind of hype that you have for these exclusive releases. They wanted to spin that forward to, or kind of pay that forward, I guess, to bars and restaurants. So this is a beer that's only available at bars and restaurants, and it's you can go on Three Sheep's website. There's a find a beer or something thing, and I just checked it out today. There's must be about 70 bars and restaurants in mostly Madison, Milwaukee, and kind of the Sheboygan area that all have this beer. And you can, you go there. The idea is you go there to get this beer and hopefully buy a meal or two and or have another drink and maybe buy some merch and tip very well and that whole thing. And that's kind of a way of it's called, the beer is called SOS, Save Our Spots. So that's kind of a pretty cool initiative there. And then the other one that we talked about, Greg, on the Badger Beer Hour a couple months ago was Project Hope. And this is a collaboration between that's a whole bunch of breweries and distilleries too in Wisconsin that are taking part in this. And what it is it's a barrel aged stout that they brewed at the Explorium in which is a brew pub in Greenfield and Greendale. I don't know. It's at Southridge Mall. And they also have a new pub in downtown Milwaukee in the 3rd Ward. So what they did was they all collaborated on this beer, and then they're going to age it in a whole bunch of different barrels provided by these distilleries. So you might have and they just filled the barrels. I think it was this week. And then the idea is that everybody who participates gets a keg of this beer that they can kind of blend. I think Mike Doble was saying that they would blend different kind of variations. So there might be one keg that's a little bit stronger with like a brandy barrel or a rye barrel or something, and then another one that's okay. Hold on. Sorry about that. There might be, and I think the idea was that these distillers were going to provide interesting and unusual barrels that could provide some spice to this, some kind of spice to these blends, so that you all kind of have something different. And then the idea is once the barrel is done, all these kegs will go off to these different tap rooms, and then they'll have a big party when the pandemic is up. And obviously you're filling it in January, late January. So 3-4 months in the barrel is usually about right. So that's and the Project Hope stands for here's one to the pandemic ending. So the idea is once it's kind of safe, they'll decide on a date, and across the city and the state, this beer, these various beers will be, kind of this from the same mother beer, will be tapped all over the place, and there will be a big party. And that sounds like the goddamn greatest thing in the world, is going to a brewery and having this big party. Greg, we were talking about this on the beer hour, and just the spontaneous kind of social interactions. I'm really glad that we started this when we did, Greg. Not this, but the Magic Beer Hour, because I feel like it is that thing. It's much more I guess planned and kind of a little less serendipitous, if to use borrow Megan's term there, but it's a way of drinking beer and hanging out with people, which is it's not the same as giving shit to the bartender and taking shit from the bartender and all that, but it fills a gap. And learning about beer, I don't know, how are you guys learning about beer these days?
Well, I went to Siebel, but that's another story for another time. And Doug's learning about beer.
A lot of answers, don't you?
Doug's being schooled by a certified cicerone.
Yep.
Certified.
Robert Scroggs. Yeah.
Robert Scroggs is giving them a rope, so Doug's in a good place.
Yep. Yeah. All right, if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna go for beer number 2.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what to do here though.
I'm late.
I'm sorry, Doug.
Yeah. So this one is from Warhorse. I've had a number of their beers. This is a Winterbock that they aged in bourbon barrels. So it's called The Epic Tale of Robert Lindsay. Like, they do all their labels like old timey newspaper things, which is kind of a Cool little hook.
I'm doing this vodka thing.
Vodka Madras.
What is it? Orange, cranberry, chamomile, and lime? Cardamom. Holy crap. A lot going on there.
Yeah. Doug first. Oh, fuck. Okay.
Okay, so all right.
Wow. Okay.
It almost has like a barley wine taste to it. Not what I was expecting at all. So
And Doug's not a barley wine fan.
it depends, but mostly not. Yeah, it's I was expecting Bach, and then they age it in bourbon barrels, and it's like really tastes like a barley wine.
Oh.
I don't have much more to say about that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Ass drink. It's a good thing you're such a you're so secure in your masculinity, Greg.
It's
Greg.
pink.
I mean, boy, imagine drinking a pink beverage in front of everybody. I kid, of course. Just
Kid.
Oh. It's like a wine cooler. It's nice. It's a springy type drink. It's a little thin, but I mean, it's I don't orange, yeah, cranberry, yeah, cardamom. Not getting it.
Maybe the cardamom aged out a bit because you had that last February is when you bought it.
Forever. I've had it forever, right? So something could have fell out, but look how pink it is. Nice.
I don't think spices are going to drop out of a.
I wouldn't think so either, but
like
who
that.
knows? Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe.
No, not getting that. But fresh, light, kind of out of my
wheelhouse.
Well, out of the I don't know, what did I start with? Some breakfast coffee thing?
Yeah,
now I'm all over here, yeah. And then I'm gonna try to get back somehow. Anyway, Chris, you have a second one?
Well, not yet. I'm still drinking my first one.
Hey,
so
he's savoring, Greg. He's not like us. He actually savors what he gets.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I'm there, though. This is kind of a sipper,
Yeah.
I savor for 2 seconds, but yeah. So Megan wants to know real quick: has the pandemic changed your drinking habits or drinking preferences? Then I'm gonna shock people with a crazy ass dumb video with some dumb lady on it.
Okay. For me, I would say initially I probably drank more at first because everything was so uncertain. As we get farther along, I still have nights where I have drinks, and there are nights I find more nights where I don't. So yeah, I guess as far as drinking new stuff, yeah, I'm still looking for oddball things, but like preferences, not particularly. I don't know. What about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I've been drinking more, I think. Part of it is like I get home. I used to go to work and get home and make dinner or something, or stop at the store or whatever, and like I wasn't really kind of sitting down and like ready to do any of that until pretty later, quite a bit later in the night. And now it's kind of like, well, I'm already home. It's just like when are you going to stop working, or even maybe not really.
Yeah.
Like finish work and you could pour a beer and that in that last half hour of work if you want. But one thing, like more recently, I've kind of started. I'm kind of surprised by this. I mean, typically I'm like 1, 2, 3 beers a night. But lately I've had several nights where it's just kind of haven't really gotten to it for whatever reason, or I've had just a glass of water or something, and that is probably good. because going through a lot of beer otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
And
My short answer is I'm pretty sure I'm drinking less. And follow my logic is because I'm not doing my trips, and my trips is when I drink the most.
Yeah.
When I try to taste 100 beers in a weekend, clearly I gotta be drinking a lot of beer. But of course, there's samples. So, Megan, my drinking habits have changed because I haven't been at home. I'm not a home drinker generally. Doug knows, man. I approached him so we could have this show, so I could drink more and make sure that I drink enough. Because when I'm at home, I'm usually studying, or I'm just studying, and my drinking habits are I don't like to have the same beer twice. I just don't. Like I've been on the road so much that I've like my body and my taste buds and what I want from beer is to try them all. So the pandemic has really hampered this in a gazillion ways, and I've been drinking more of the same beer over. It really has changed over.
Ale Asylum.
Ale Asylum, Ale Asylum, Parchigo. I mean, on the list, man, there's a lot of different ones, but it's just completely changed. I would never get Ale Asylum beer at home. I would never have it in my fridge. It's the main thing in my fridge now. I would never have New Glarus in my fridge. Not never, but like if it was, Chris, what's the higher end series? The double IPA Scream.
the Thumbprint.
Yeah, Thumbprint. Now that's something I would have in my house, but I would never be caught dead with Spotted Cow, and I had Spotted Cow in my fridge last month or something like that. So like, it's really, really changed. Yeah, it's changed a lot, and I'm ready for it to go back. I was saying to myself earlier this week, I just can't get more than anything. That even going back to the bars, I just want to be on the road to a beer destination. Like that's what I did. That's what I was doing. That's me. Damn it. So anyway, thanks for the question, Megan. What's up, Chris?
Have you guys found new ways to drink like socially?
I mean, like Zoom hangouts and things like that,
or even just like texting with, or like some kind of chat with like friends that are into beer and like I mean that's been one thing that I've kind of started doing is like texting photos of beers to my friends, like which is not something that I would do before. And then everybody kind of does the same thing, and it's like oh, what is that? Is it good? Like
right.
That.
I went to one virtual beer fest. I went to Fresh Fest virtual beer fest. Had a really good time. And they were playing. There was they tried to do what they did, their music and different things. It was good. It wasn't the same, but it was at least an afternoon where I was just having a beer and I felt like I was part of something.
Yeah.
Or I was like, what I mean? Sometimes it's about having a beer and just being, like part of a community, or you're just having a beer. The last time I think I saw you in public, Chris, was, I'm pretty sure, was at Central Waters. And this week we have the Central Water, it should be the Central Waters quote party, which I saw Chris at 3 years ago or something. And it's just, I don't know if anybody's been there, but Doug, it's just one of these places where like it's cold, people just pack the fuck in, and it doesn't really matter because the beer is great. You're there for the beer, and then you see a whole bunch of people. Everybody like gets to Central Waters this day in January. Everybody see a whole bunch of people
there. It's
just a good time. And then this is the week of it, and this is another like mark of like next year. Damn it, we need to have the Central Waters party. It needs to happen next January because we had it last year, right, Chris? Did they have it last year?
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be the only year. This will be the year that they miss. Yeah, we got to have that party back, man. If I can get to it or not, it doesn't matter. That's just one of the events in Wisconsin that really, really, and that's, I'm pretty sure that's the last time I saw you in public. That was like 3 years ago? Something like that.
What's that?
Yeah. 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
I missed it last year for some reason. Yeah, 17 sounds, or 18 sounds right. Maybe 17.
Yeah, Daniel's been doing with exchanges.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I still owe Daniel some beer because he sent me all that, and I said I'm going to send you next week, and then of course I didn't do it because I'm lazy.
you'll get to it though. You guys are we're almost to the point where you can just drive to his house and drop it. Almost. Yeah, and, Beer Baron, get on Daniel's list. It's a good list to be on. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Do it, Chris. Oh man. So Howie says, "Oh, this reminds me that I have to buy Chris a beer." Or it might be the other way around. It's been a while, Chris. That aside, what are some of the domestic beers of Belgian quads do you know about?
That's a great question.
Uh,
I know too.
what's the one? What's up, Doug? Say it.
First one is Omegang's Three Philosophers.
Yeah,
That's a great quad.
Yep.
And then let's go to this one. Boulevard makes a good quad.
Oh,
what a segue!
Yeah. I do want to. I do want to say also, Three Sheep's Veneration is a rye barrel aged quad with all kinds of stuff in it, like figs and that is one of my favorite beers. Period. And the barrel aging, and all the adjuncts and stuff, it kind of makes it sound like it's not like and it's not. I mean, it's not a purist quad, but it all that stuff amplifies stuff that's already kind of happening in the beer. So it's very cool. Barrel aged quads are shit. One of my favorite beers I've ever had. Like probably classified in like the surprising category was up at Badger State Brewing in Green Bay. They had a brandy barrel aged quad that was, I think it might have been the first. Like I hadn't had a lot of brandy barrel aged beers, and I don't know if I'd even had any barrel aged quads before. This was like a couple years before that, before Central Waters did their barrel aged quad, bourbon barrel quad, and it was like so. I mean, it was so, there's so much barrel character on. I got a flight that had the regular quad and then the brandy barrel version, and I mean it's a fantastic beer with like a 6 months age on it anyway. But then you bring in all that spirit character, and yeah, it was great. And I don't know if they make that beer, if Badger State makes that beer on the regular anymore, but it was serendipitous, to borrow Megan's word again.
Is it New Belgium that has a great quad? I know they have a great triple.
The triple is quite good. I don't know that
they got a double too. I don't remember them doing quad.
Okay.
I don't think they did a quad. Yeah.
Okay. I know they got a great triple though. That's why I'm like,
the triple is 1 point.
Yeah, I'm like, am I messing it up? It sounds like I am. So that's cool. Chris,
I can't think of. I mean, that's not a style that you see a whole lot, especially when it's not like, done stuff with
right.
Adjuncts and stuff. So
I will tell you, there's one that I've had that's probably my favorite quad. It's not domestic. It's made by Castile, and they make a chocolate quad that is best quad I've ever had. I
mean, I appreciate the desire to drink American with beer, because I like I may like European beers, but I don't like that that a liquid is being shipped across the ocean, and that there's a lot of stuff like that with that. In addition to all the inherent carbon footprint that goes into the ingredients before they even get made into a beer. But when you're talking about a couple bottles every other week or something, if there's nothing wrong with the quads of Belgium,
Yeah, that was just I actually have one of those in my cellar fridge that I'm looking forward to trying here in I think that one's about 8 months old. So,
and I will also say, yeah, I mean that Three Philosophers is a great call, and I think that is one that is pretty widely available. So
I'm pretty sure that's pretty nationwide, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's definitely here in Wisconsin, Howie. So, and yes, I want to buy you a beer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Excellent. Oh, not me. Shit. So, Chris, I'm not sure if you're ready. I don't know if you want to go to your second one, but as we spoke about earlier, it's time for our sponsor.
Yeah. Well, let me get into my next beer here for a sec.
All right.
Hey. Also, we know everybody loves Two Hearted Ale, right? I mean, we don't have to talk about that. But is the name bad and is the label bad? I saw the Worst Beer Blog on Twitter was going off on this again today, and I remember I was reminded that I got into it with him. I assume it's a him previously because I think it's a great name and I think it's an awesome label. And like, am I like? And he's like, it's gross. It's an ugly fish and like blah blah blah. Like, okay, it's a beautiful fish.
Okay.
And B, like, it doesn't have to be like like this is a really cool label, right? I mean, that's a cool label. Like, it's got the stuff, it's got all the cool like. It has to be like that to be awesome. So is Two Hearted an ugly label and a bad name? It is
not a bad name as a label aficionado. Not my jam.
Okay. I mean, like, I think his point is like fish are gross, and I don't want to see a fish on.
Well, you also bear in mind, like, that's part of the Two Hearted lore, right? Is like, so yeah, it's right for what they're doing. I'm just not going to go, that's a really cool label. That's not what I would do.
Okay. All right.
But again, I'm really ridiculous about labels, so I'm probably not the person to ask.
Okay. No, I mean, I wanted to get I wanted to hear.
Megan says no.
Greg, what do you think?
Megan says no. I think you asked if it's a good label. I think she says no to that.
No, it's a bad label. No, it's a good label. She says no. We
don't need a good label.
Bad label. I know.
Megan's right about all this.
Yeah, they don't need a good label. That's a good freaking beer. It's just beer. You know you're going to get it, and you know it's going to be good every time you have it.
Yeah. Fair
right. Enough. And then again, to me, I'm rolling up to your place trying to find 8 of your beers. I could give a fuck less about your label. But generally, but again, I'm not everybody, and also you also have that, again, you walk into, no one's walking into a brewery now and getting shots, or so it's just not working that way. So you are going into a store where that could influence you. But I'm with Megan. This is a tough one because everybody knows this one, and if you don't know this one, and then you're brought in by that fish, it's really, really interesting, actually. So anyway, Chris, it is now time for our sponsor. Do you have something that would you like to talk about today?
Oh shit! Yeah. Wow. Okay. Before we do that, my second beer is little cellar feller here. Wild Sour Ale from 2018.
I don't even know what that is. Damn.
What? Wild Sour? This is it's a classic. I
missed that one.
I don't know. I guess Wild Sour.
I missed that one.
Here. It's kind of an amber, kind of an Ode Brune type deal. Brett. And it's very, very good. It's got that New Glarus sweetness, sweet sour action. And I had to clean. So I had a basement renovation project that was horribly botched by the guys who did it. Thanks for that, you guys. If you're listening, I know you're not. But as a result of this, there was a lot of drywall cut and recut in the basement, and there was a fine sheen of dust over everything in the basement, including in this little enclosed off room, including my cellar, my beer cellar. So I had to go through and lovingly, with a damp microfiber cloth, wipe down every single bottle of the 200 bottles in my cellar. And
your bottles.
I think it was many. I counted it when we moved back in May, so I don't know.
Wow.
There's probably fewer than that now because.
Wow. When you shocked the cellar guy, that's pretty crazy.
So, but I was excited when I was reminded that I had so many of these. I think I got like 4 packs of it and have been saving them because I mean this is a beer that and I also have a couple of the original 2013 ones too. Because of all the bread in here, it does definitely change, over that kind of extended period of time. So it's drinking quite nicely here. That sweetness, I mean, New Glarus' sours are known for their kind of candy-like sweetness, especially with the fruity ones. This one is not fruited, but it has, it's got a nice pop to it, and
wow,
cool.
What's up, Aaron?
That was not intended as a flex. I didn't think that was it.
That's Aaron's a friend of mine who's an Xbox buddy of mine. Like we play stuff together.
Yeah, he's seen us more than a few times.
Yep.
I owe you some beer, Daniel Fisher.
That's me. Why is that not showing up? I'm a little mad about that.
Everybody, and Megan is laughing at Chris's comment. I think Megan's laughing at the reaction of Doug and I to Chris having 200 bottles of beer.
Hey, I thought I had a lot. I counted in my beer fridge. I have like 46 bottles in this beer fridge now. I was like, that's a lot. I need to start drinking some of those.
Right.
Oh yeah. Well, that doesn't count the cellar shelf in my fridge. That's a different deal. The oldest beer in my cellar is the 20. I've got a 2010 New Glarus Apt, which is the quad, and I think that was the last time they put that out. I'm 7 years old now, and
right.
That beer has moved. Let's see, twice, I guess. That beer has moved to 2 different. Has been with me in 3 different residences.
Now, do you find yourself doing the? Oh man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to drink this now because I've had it for so long. I'm afraid I'm not going to ever be able to open it.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it's not like an 11-year-old, or it's probably only 10. Like a 10-and-a-half-year-old beer is not getting any better. No way. So all you're doing is just waiting for the right time or the right occasion or the right company or whatever. And there will never be the right time or company or whatever for that beer. Like just drink it.
So Doug, we need to go to his house and just crack.
I borrowed my friend.
Yes, open up the bottle, man.
I borrowed my friend Jake. # drink your cellar, and I'm like the worst offender at it. It's Howie. Yeah, I don't know that's happening.
My word.
But we can, I mean, like that's the thing is like I would love to split that.
Howie. Sure. Howie's helping us here.
Chris, you just need to open up the cellar, and we'll come over and So Chris, sponsor
time.
All right. Okay. So
I'm out of here for a moment. Bye.
So my day job is I am executive editor of Milwaukee Magazine, hence the styling glass. You can't really see it, but
can't see it because of the dark beer. But we saw it in the first round, the first beer.
We saw it before. I've got a prop here. In this January's issue, I was the editor on this cover story, which is a story about Milwaukee's 175th anniversary, and that anniversary is in 2 days. It is on Sunday, so I thought I would use my little sponsor time here to talk about this story. And I'm like, I don't really toot my own horn that much, but I'm very proud of how this package turned out. It's God, everybody was like, how many pages is it? It's like 16 pages or something of stuff about the city's history. So we've got like we took some time to look at the first Milwaukeeans, which of course were not who of course were not European. And we have a story about that and the tribes, the various tribes that were here. And then it's kind of just a whole bunch of like really easy to digest stories about the city's history, kind of broken up into eras, and lots of. I learned a lot about the city in kind of directing this package, and I'm really proud of it. And I think you guys would love it, whether you're in Wisconsin or not. I think it's worth a look. So to celebrate the city's anniversary this weekend, go ahead and check it out. Check that link out, and let me know what you think, because I'm curious to hear your feedback on it. That's it.
I'm curious to see what they can do for the anniversary, considering the pandemic and all that stuff. Yeah, folks, check that shit out. So maybe you can actually, if you're in Milwaukee or somewhere close, you can actually go and maybe do something.
Yeah, no, the city is not doing anything for. I mean, they're doing some, like, I think they've got a website or something, but I would imagine that there would have been some kind of pomp and event or something, but none of that's happening this year. We checked it out. Maybe for 200.
We might be out of the pandemic by that point, so it'll be all right.
We'll be on Pandemic 2.0.
Oh my word!
It'll be right. COVID. It'll be COVID 34, 44, 41, 42. Whatever.
Yeah, my favorite part of the thing was when people would say that the COVID-19 was because it was released in 2019. Like, no, it's the 19th iteration of the COVID coronavirus. You dolts. Anyway, sorry.
Question for you, Chris?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I'm not sure. I shouldn't say that. I'm not sure. We kind of went looking for some of this stuff and weren't really able to find a whole lot about it. So, yeah, I don't know. We should probably do one. That would be good.
After Oktoberfest, which beer would you recommend? Aaron, I think you gotta narrow it down.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what context he's asking that in, actually.
Yeah, I don't either. And I had asked him, like, was he having ham? But he was more like getting more into the whiskeys now. So I mean, stay with whiskey, man. If you're on whiskey, you know what you got, and you can it's easy to regulate.
I'm with him though. I like a good, nice session IPA that does not blow your face over with hops and is really subtle and a light drinker and nice. Love it, Aaron. I'm with you. Need to see more of that.
You said earlier that you like the super hoppy, bitter stuff.
Why can't I like both? Why?
¿Por qué no los dos?
Why not both? Both?
Right. Why not both? Doug,
that's one thing that, like, kind of as a beer, or at least a drinking, I guess, professional-ish, that I'm really glad that I have been kind of not really forced, but out of professional diligence, I try to drink all styles and kind of whatever is out there. And if there's a trend that's happening, I'm going to be on it and I'm going to be trying things, even if it kind of wouldn't be like something I normally drink. And what I found is that I kind of drink everything and kind of enjoy everything now. That sense of kind of not necessarily analyzing, but kind of being analytical about a beer on its own merits. Like, say, not look like drinking a like Hefeweizen is a great example. I'm not really a Hefe guy, but I can drink a Hefeweizen and appreciate it for what it is and why that. Oh yes, this would be very good if I were into this, and it really leads to like some like more enjoyment. So I think that's one thing that I think more people should do that, and because ultimately it builds your enjoyment of just about everything.
Yes, come out with me to drink beer. Is that it?
And that's the thing, Greg, you and I did this when we were in Dad 2.0 last February. We went to Gordon Biersch, and we had we both had the Rausch beer, and we were like, yeah, that's a good Rausch beer. That's what Rausch beer should. But neither of us were like, yeah, I want more Rausch beer. It was just like you could recognize that was right for the style. Yeah, that's what I was getting at, Chris. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I do. That's a great example. Like I do not like those beers, especially like I can get down with like some smoke porters or like some smoked beers, lightly smoked, like even like one of those kind of smoky like a Scotch ale or something, which isn't necessarily true to style, but whatever. But when it's kind of like those lagers, those like true rock beers, that's kind of all there is. You know, I mean, it's intended to just everything else fall back and just be the ashtray. And I don't not like them, but I keep trying them in hopes that I will someday appreciate it.
Just take a step and slide to me and Doug, and we'll take care of that. Those smoke beers, we love them. So Aaron clarified his statement, which is there are plenty of brands at Oktoberfest. Some of us like differences. Just wondering what you would suggest out of brands. We're out of, obviously. It's funny talking about Oktoberfest at this time, but if you still have some in your fridge, I'm sure they're fine.
Yep.
The one I'll jump off at that you can get everywhere. A lot of people like is Sam Adams one, so I'll say that one.
I mean, you know, I was like, one of the things that I intentionally like did a different Oktoberfest for several many days this fall. You know, every time I was at the Pick Six section, I just built a six pack of mixed Oktoberfest. And obviously this is here in Wisconsin, and we have a very strong German tradition. So there's a lot of good Oktoberfest here. But every year I do this, I'm kind of struck by the actual range within the style. You know, they're like, a couple of years ago, I just was bored with them, and I kind of thought that they were all the same, and they're really not. There's there is variation within I mean, most of it is like how much caramelized action are you going to get? How much kind of sweetness? How much zip on the hops? I mean, those are the three kind of major dials, and I guess like the weight of it too. Like most of them are pretty medium, light body, but some of them get a little bit thicker. So I mean, there's a lot of range. There's a lot more range than I kind of used to think about Oktoberfest. And I mean, I guess the question would be like, which ends of those different spectrums do you prefer to be on? You know, if you like a sweeter beer, I mean, Sam Adams to me is pretty kind of like dead middle of all that. Like it's pretty well balanced. Certainly on the lighter side, I think, as far as mouthfeel and weight. It's really tough to make recommendations across the country. I assume Aaron's not in Wisconsin, so I think the seasonals are really dominated by you know, kind of your local breweries, and I think those are probably the best options usually.
Yeah, Aaron's actually in Georgia, so that's not it's a little hard. I mean, you could do things like I will say one of the ones I really dig is Jack's Abbey makes a really good Oktoberfest. They're a Massachusetts joint. I mean, you can do what's that?
They only do lagers, right?
Jack's Abbey. No, I've seen them do pills, and they do a lot of lagers. That's definitely their wheelhouse. But yeah, that's a really good one. I mean, Eyinger and like your normal ones. If you're looking for domestic ones, that's a little different. But you know,
the Sierra Nevada collaboration, pretty much every year is.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
That's good, and of course that's really as much a German Oktoberfest as it is an American one, because they collaborate with different German breweries every year. But that's one I'd recommend, kind of sight unseen.
What about one I've heard that I've never had because we don't get it here is Half Acre makes a like a. I don't think it's called Oktoberfest, but it's like an Oktoberfest style beer.
Mm.
Have you guys had that one?
I don't think I've had that one.
Mm-mm.
Is that
I heard of it and I was like, oh, that sounds pretty interesting, and I have to figure out what it's called.
Revolution out of Chicago has a really good one.
That one is called.
I can tell you, I'm pretty sure I've not had it.
It's called Lagertown.
Lagertown?
Yeah.
I've seen it. Have not bought it.
Yeah.
Fest beers and Marzens.
Yeah,
Right.
that's point two. Fest beer is a lot lighter in color and body, and
more poundable.
that caramel
Poundable,
a little bit. So yeah.
So Doug, I'm debating whether to go to a video or go to something that you posted on your thing that kind of offended me. So we'll go to the offensive thing. What's up, Doug? Is that cool?
Yes.
Okay, Doug. So
I'm ready.
Okay,
I
Doug.
opened a third beer before we start this shit because I'm going to need a third beer for this.
I'm not sure. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. What is
You're going to want to see this.
What's your third beer? Ooh,
it's a black wheat wine.
Wine with hazelnut and honey.
Yeah.
Wait, what's on the bottom? On the bottom it says walnut and orange.
Hazelnut and orange blossom honey.
Wow. Okay.
What is a black wheat wine?
Yeah. What's going on?
I've never. Well, first of all, wheat wines. Greg turned me onto that when he was here. We went to a brewery and they actually made a wheat wine. I'd never had one.
That brewery turned you on to it.
That was a great wheat wine, and I was like, man, I want more of those. And then I saw this. I'm like, well, I have to pick this up.
It was really good, and then the Giant Jones one was really good, but it wasn't as good as
that one.
But right.
Look how dark that is.
Love that sexy glass.
Holy moly!
Is that nitro?
No, it's not. I just poured it really heavy.
It looked like it was.
I did like the super shh, like.
Okay. What? I'm wondering how we're getting this dark wheat wine. Are we using some chocolate malts or some burnt malts or what?
Wheat or something.
All right, so this is they called it the series of heavy dark brews. This black wheat wine, a wheat-based version of barley wine. The rich malt backbone and black as night appearance without the bitterness. Toasted hazelnut and orange blossom and honey add a roasty nuttiness. The nuttiness in this is fantastic. It is so good. It's smooth,
boozy,
and it's been. It says lengthy cold conditioning makes this deliciously smooth despite its ABV, which is 9.2. It drinks like it's 5. Like
so it's not boozy at all.
No, not at all. Very nutty. You get the honey elements with a little bit of sweetness. I think I'm gonna have to send some of this to you, Greg.
How many of those you got?
I have 3 more in my fridge, but I can go get more.
Oh, man.
What?
Is the hazelnut strong in it, or?
Yeah, that's the nut. It's like this nuttiness with a little bit of sweetness. Yeah, like it's really well balanced. It doesn't drink like a 10% beer.
So it drinks like a nut beer.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Well, cheers, man.
That is super good. Anyway, bring up my offensive comment now while I'm drinking.
It was something along the lines of, if it's not a Cuban, then don't put pickles on it. Is that what I heard? I just want you to be able to clarify.
All right. So after a few whiskeys, I posted something that was just. I do these weird things where it's like I'm done watching whatever I'm watching. Last night was The Expanse, which is the best sci-fi show I think I've ever seen.
Where's that at, quick? Where do you find it?
Amazon Prime? If you can, it's 5 seasons.
The more popular opinions now. He's talking about a great sci-fi show instead of talking about the terrible take.
Right. He's gonna
I'm
slip
getting that terrible. By the way, not a terrible take, but The Expanse is a great sci-fi show. For me, I think it's the best one, but I'm also whatever. So I was at a point where I was like, you know what really bothers me? Fucking pickles on sandwiches. Don't put pickles on sandwiches. The only exception is the Cuban sandwich. That's the exception that proves the rule. And the litany of people who decided that I was wrong was pretty impressive. The best part is my wife jumping in and going, no, don't give him shit about that. He'll give me the pickles. And I'm like, yeah, I will. You'll get all the fucking pickles. I don't want any of them.
Unintended, right? Because that's your wife, or I forget it. Anyway.
No.
Anyway, cool.
The answer, Greg, would be yes.
Right. Would you like to
from a Boston fan, you can shut up.
Chris, would you like to respond to that?
Yes, please. Let the hate flow through you.
For lack of a better term, mess.
I mean, I feel like I just want to ask why. Like you don't like sour things?
All right. So there's certain things for me that texturally are really unappealing.
Okay.
Coconut.
Yeah.
I don't like the. I don't mind the flavor of it. I do not like the texture of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the texture of raw tomatoes. I like them cooked in whatever form otherwise, but if they're raw, no thank you.
Okay.
And pickles are in that same realm. The only exception to that is gherkins. I could eat gherkins just straight out of the frickin' jar because they're sweet, and I can get over the texture of it.
Okay.
And also gherkins are very well. Dill pickles can be crisp too. Don't get me wrong, but the gherkins are usually pretty crisp because they're small.
I mean, the texture thing, I can. I mean, you know, but like, I feel like you just haven't had good pickles. Honestly, like
my wife has made pickles, and they're
if it's too soggy or it's like mushy, it's not a good pickle, and it's certainly not a good pickle for a sandwich.
Right.
I'm getting blasted for not liking pickles on sandwiches, so
it's all right.
We're at that part of the show.
Right.
And really, like, and then you say, well, like,
right.
Yeah, it's the texture that's bad, and then it's like the gherkins are good. It's like, why? Because they're sweet, and usually texture. I was like, okay, so the texture is not really the issue here. I mean, like, if you
it is partially. I do like sour things, but not like really sour. And dills aren't really sour. They're just something I don't know. I don't want them on my sandwich. Okay, that's all.
In the last year or two, I've really decided to let people like what they like and let people not like what they don't like, and not try to talk them into or out of flavor preferences.
But
I'm just gonna let this one go while trying to point out the bad parts of your logic there. That I don't think you really know why you don't like it, or you're not being honest with yourself, Doug. I don't know. I think maybe you need to talk this through.
You saw right through me.
Yeah. Show me where the pickle hurt you. Where did the pickle hurt you?
Well, all right. Let me ask you a question, though. Where do you guys stand on the idea of relish, since relish is pickle based?
Yeah. What are we pro or?
No, I'm asking you.
Right, Chris. Where are you at with relish?
Both of you, I'm asking, but Chris, you go
first.
Relish,
but I do like pickles on my. Like I'll put a pickle on a ham sandwich.
Relish is trash.
Well, I don't like most of the relish that I see is like sweet relish, and I don't do that. I don't like that.
Right. Sweet relish is.
I got enough sugar.
Relish has one fucking use. What? Relish has one use. One. That's it. One.
Which is
use.
Hot dogs. That's it. And even then, it's kind of a weak one. It's kind of like Like hot dogs now are like different when grew up. Like relish was kind of like one of those things that like made hot dogs like really really cool. Now we have like chili dogs, Chicago dogs, chili cheese dogs. I mean, you can put anything on a hot dog now.
Dude, I want kraut on my sausages.
Kraut. I mean, again, that's my point. Like, thank you for my point. A lot of different things you could do with a hot dog. Relish is one of the last things. Now, again, Chris, I know Chris. One of the things that Chris wants to get back to, one of his main things. We don't agree on this issue, but I know that Chris loves going to the baseball games. Chris loves sitting there. He loves his Brewers. He loves that whole experience. I'm just not a baseball fan. So, Chris, one of the times I want relish is when I'm at. I'm sorry, they just renamed it American Family Field.
American Family Field. You've been to Miller Park. That's okay. That's okay.
Miller Park, and you get a hot dog, and you're at the concession stands, and there's just something about that whole, you know what I mean? You walk up, and there's a dispenser for ketchup and mustard. That's when I will do the relish.
Yeah.
Because you're in that element. It's time. You know what I mean? So, like, that's my one time, Doug, that I do the relish. Other than that, I don't look for it. Unless I'm trying to make tartar sauce at home with a little mayonnaise and relish.
That's a good way to use it. That is actually a good way to use it.
There's no use for me in relish. So
I was curious because that is pickle based. I just didn't. But you're right, Chris. You rarely see a relish that isn't sweet,
which is bad because dill's awesome. Dill and sour and garlic. Give me all that. I want the savory, baby.
Chris, you didn't get to a game last year. Are you trying to hope this year? Are you still keeping that open, or where are you at?
I think I'll go to a Brewers game this year. Yeah.
Cool. Is baseball, is that your favorite sport? Because you check that, in my opinion. Like if you follow Chris, and I should put a thing up there, but when you follow Chris, to me, I know you like the Packers, but like you give off more I love baseball heat than you do I love football heat. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I don't think I have a favorite. I mean, like, listen, I was born in Green Bay, Wisconsin, right? So, like, football is a pretty big deal for me, and I'm a big fan. I've been Lambeau leaped on and all this business, but I don't know. I don't think. I don't know. Baseball's had some. Well, baseball and I think the Brewers in the last 12 months or so, I was frustrated with what happened to the baseball season last year, and I don't know.
Okay.
I definitely have. I'm more of a football fan than a baseball fan.
Gotcha.
But these things wane and wax, and we'll. That's a good picture. I like your shot, Jonathan. That's good. Right. Do fun.
Or what?
Anybody who's putting. Well, hold on. I was just about to say anybody who's putting ketchup on any sausage is wrong, but I will do a little bit of sauce, a little bit of ketchup, but mostly mustard.
Okay.
And
I will say that I agree with you if they are not hot dogs. I think hot dogs are ketchup and mustard.
Yeah,
that's
only.
But if you're doing lots or sausage, no, man, you need the mustard, sauerkraut, all that shit. Load that shit on there.
And if there's no kraut or like pickle, like relish or something for the hot dog, then I'll go a little bit of ketchup, but more mustard. You got to get that brown mustard on there. No yellow mustard.
Brown, and not the yet. Now, listen, with hot dogs, I'll put the regular yellow mustard on. But if I'm doing anything that's not a hot dog, it's got to be the brown mustard, man. It can't be that French's yellow stuff. That's not going to.
So, I mean, you're revealing yourself to have decent taste. It's just this one.
Some things.
I don't know. I'm still.
This show does these things where we're doing all this stuff.
This right here.
What?
This is it. No fucking ketchup. Period. No.
No.
No. I don't know who this is, but they're right.
That was me.
No. So, right. You're saying it right here. No ketchup on fucking dogs.
No, I'm saying ketchup and mustard on hot dogs.
You don't even look. You're supposed to be a writer. You don't even know how to fucking write. Let's get.
Spice in there.
Oh,
Well, mustard, I will say that.
Spilling my beer.
I am not flustered.
My
point was chili dogs are superior. Chili dogs are superior.
When I'm criticizing Doug's writing. Anyway,
So
we're at a bad place.
several years ago, the State Journal, which I worked for at the time, did a Madison in 100 objects. I don't remember what the occasion was. It might have been some kind of anniversary or something. But we as a staff, we picked 100 things to kind of represent Madison, and one of the things that we picked was a bratwurst, and I was like, I want to write that one, please. And so I wrote like a 200 word eulogy or ode to a bratwurst or something, and it was so fun. And my favorite line on it was, whatever, blah blah blah, perfected by mustard and debased by ketchup. And because on I think we all agree here that bratwurst on a ketchup, or ketchup on a bratwurst rather.
I agree.
That's just wrong. And oh my God, the reaction that one little line got was a lot of fun.
Right. I was gonna say, Doug, how many responses did you get on your pickle status?
It was like 50.
Right. Right. I think
it was not that controversial take. I don't like pickles on my sandwich except for Cubans.
Right.
Although I did get one person who said that, hey man, if you're gonna call it, you call it by its rightful name. It's a Cubano. I was like, you're kind of right there. Yeah, I can't give you shit for that.
Y'all making me hungry now. So get back to this. Before we move on, let's get to these hot dog comments. So Andrew says bacon wrap Sonoran style. Now I understand bacon wrap, but what's the Sonoran part? Do we know? That shit sounds.
Looking that up right now.
That shit sounds good.
I'm assuming it's a hot dog.
Yeah, no ketchup on a hot dog, right?
All right, I'm looking at
one exception on the hot dog front. Chilean complete. What the hell is that?
I don't know. I'm looking up the Sonoran one. Oh my God! So the Sonoran one has like avocados and refried beans and like
you got a picture of that?
Jalapenos.
You got a picture?
Here, I'll send you the Jeff Moro recipe. How about that?
Share it.
Like it seems like it's got all that stuff, and it's not going to be helped by ketchup.
If you could share it, Doug, and then I can share it. Or
I'm getting there. Hold on. Sorry, I accidentally copy and pasted the wrong thing.
No worries. I want to see what the hell you're talking about. We're talking about this, right? Okay, so
it looks
amazing.
Like it looks too busy for me, but
well, so get down with Chicago dogs then.
Right, I was gonna say
you're there too.
Right. See, Doug probably doesn't like. Here we go. Damn.
There's one called El Completo.
That shit looks good.
Oh, zoom in on that. There's ketchup on that though?
No, I don't think there's ketchup on it. I think
there isn't. According to that, that guy is like,
that
dude is like the sandwich guy on Food Network. That's his whole shtick.
Jeff Moro. Yeah, okay. What we got here? Let's see.
Okay, I'm going to send you this one called Chilean Complete.
I didn't even show me shit. Man, get out of here.
I'm all for extra shit, making things look fucking tasty and add stuff. What are you doing there, Greg?
I don't know. That damn video came on. More ketchup haters.
You got whole, like Latin American hot dog scene. There's a lot of variations.
You are You are incorrect, Jeff, but that's okay.
No, he's right. No, he's right.
No, that's good.
That is not true. You know what it's also good on? Scrambled eggs.
Oh my fucking Lord. Jesus Christ.
At least I didn't say steaks. At least I didn't say steaks.
Any kind of like crusty tomato or potato products like hash browns. Like we extend that to the French fried
eggs now? Come on, stop.
Came in to shake it up. That was Manny. Came in to shake it up.
Empanadas. Well, where the fuck is empanadas coming from, Tony? I mean, I'm not disagreeing, but where the fuck does that?
I don't think I'm not putting ketchup on empanadas. That's for sure.
Is this just the completo kind of?
Hey, Tony, you know what? I get that. I get the Tabasco. I get the Frank's Red Hot.
Yes.
I get all that. Yeah, if you want that, that's great.
Yeah, the Tabasco. Right. I'm again, JHC. Get the fuck. My problem with ketchup on eggs is that ketchup is so powerful flavor wise, it just blows over the egg flavor. Am I wrong?
Okay, so can I just say how I do the scramble? I don't put it on my eggs. I put it on the side so I can dip pieces of it in so I can control the amount of ketchup.
Right. Doug's ketchup takes are edging toward a dangerous area.
I do not disagree. Hey, my freaking thing is Scotch Filiers. I never said I was a beer expert. I've said
this is true. This is true.
Fries are good for things, and that is very true.
No one was ripping fries here, I don't think, right? We were.
Yeah, no, fries are okay. Yeah, we're not.
Okay, right. Actually, those homemade, those fresh cut ones. Actually, those are the new ones. Those are the ones that I really love. I love sours, milkshake ales.
That's Manny. That's Manny.
The milkshake ales.
Well, Manny's a fucking cereal guy. Jesus Christ! Like of course he's gonna like the milkshakes.
No ketchup with empanadas. Okay,
I didn't know what. Sorry, Tony. I didn't know what you were going for there.
Yeah, Tony just threw empanadas like into the realm there, and that's cool. But I didn't know where they were.
Empanadas are great, but like, I didn't know where he was going with that.
Doug, you can't argue the egg and ketchup logic.
I can argue that away all day. Guess what? I'll make eggs tomorrow and dip them in a little bit of ketchup and enjoy the shit out.
And then he's going to post it to Facebook and get
some scrambled eggs and then a little pool of ketchup, and he's taking his chicken nuggets and dipping in.
To be fair, I don't use that for chicken nuggets.
My kid does that. He's 10. And I'm like, dude, can you like barbecue sauce? You want some ranch with those? Oh, ketchup is great. It's like that's.
I know. So we have kids that are like some of them are. One of them's honey mustard. Everything. That's you. Another one that everything's hot sauce, and then we have another one everything's sour cream.
All right, so you know what to do when you go out to like grab food. Give me some honey mustard. Give me some.
I know. I just put all the condiments on the table. Go to it, folks.
That's interesting. I mean, those are all very different kind of, like flavor
profile. Yeah.
Right. So Tony says if I run out of Tabasco, ketchup will do. I'm pretty sure we're still on eggs. Yeah. I'm a ketchup guy, but again,
eggs, right? You don't need eggs on it.
Again, this is the true statement right here. Too legit. Burgers and fries. He's right. Anyway, mustard now.
If you have really good fries, you just eat them, fucking just fried with nothing on them. I get that to try them to see the flavor of the fries and being like, all right, the consistency's good. It's crispy on the outside. It's soft. I get that.
You don't see, to me, fries are like steak. The better ones you don't need shit on.
Really?
That might be fair.
And well, again, Chris, let's go back to Miller Field. I don't know if they have them there, but there are plenty of baseball places, especially minor league, that have where people love. I don't necessarily love this, but people love it, which is fries and vinegar. Now again, I get vinegar is a little bit, love it. People love it. It's not my thing. My point is, it's a subtle thing that this adds a little bit of.
I get it.
Right. So it's not.
That is a very British thing, by the way.
Ketchup is overpowering, man. Ketchup is overpowering. So I don't. Yeah. Sometimes I don't like ketchup on a burger if that burger is like great beef. Sometimes just give me the tomato, give me the lettuce, and let's compliment it.
But I
think it'd be too strong, and I love ketchup. Don't get me wrong, I love ketchup. I just don't like the way where Doug puts it.
Well, I don't think we're not on Doug for ketchup, are we? I mean, I guess
we're gonna bag on Doug for ketchup forever. I'm bagging on Doug.
Let's not lose sight of the original thing here, pickles.
Yeah. Well, don't even get me started with Doug and avocados. I mean, we could go.
Yeah, that's a whole.
Don't even get me started there. But go on, Chris. What were you gonna say?
I don't think the reason you don't put ketchup on a good burger is because the ceiling of a great burger is way higher than the ceiling of a great French fry. Like the level of complexity and the flavors and stuff. I mean, like a good French fry. Like I think about the best French fries we had. Like they have like truffle oil and shit. Like there's garlic, Parmesan, and all that. Like it's not like it's just a French fry. It's like, oh wow, this is really a pure, delicious, enjoying eating experience.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. I mean, it's just...
Well, there's something that so we do here where it's not necessarily French fries, but we'll do roasted potatoes, and my son will make this aioli with like it's mayonnaise and lime juice and lime zest and sriracha, and it's all mixed together, and it's awesome with potatoes. And I would put fries in that. Like it's a great condiment, and it's not hard to make, but he makes it so good that I'm just like, when I make it, it's not as good, and I follow a recipe, and he just kind of just tosses it together, and it freaking works. And I don't know. I'm a recipe person, so when I cook, I need a recipe, and so ketchup with eggs equals Johnny Walker Red. I don't drink Johnny Walker. I drink good scotch. So
I think that's the point. I think that
I'm allowed to slum it with my freaking food, guys. Jesus.
Well, yeah. Burgers, right? The Fat Elvis is incredible. Kuma's in Chicago makes hell yes.
Chorizo and potatoes, Tony, you are exactly right. That is an awesome combination.
Chorizo and potatoes.
Get all that fat from the chorizo and
yes. Chorizo tacos too.
Yes. We're getting into a whole level of I'm going to have to go make myself some food after this fucking show. God damn it.
Breakfast is calling, isn't it?
Right. Who do we have on this week? Wisconsin Food Baron or Beer Baron? What the hell's going on?
All right. I'm drinking my next beer in honor of the Fat Elvis burger.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The reference.
I actually have a Central Waters Fat Elvis in my fridge.
Oink.
Yes.
Whoa.
It's actually in my little cooler down here.
What is Fat Elvis? I don't even know what that is.
This is so Central Waters, well known for its barrel aging program, right?
Yes.
Bourbon Barrel Stout is the classic. They've got the Peruvian Morning. They've got the Cash-In Sunset, Cherry Stout, all kinds of great barrel aged beers.
Yes.
Is the mother beer of all those. This is the raw, unbarrel aged beer that goes in. This is what goes into those barrels and comes out of all those beers.
Okay.
So they released this in cans for the first time this year. They've had it on. I think they've done it I think they've had it on draft at the brewery here and there before. It's definitely at the anniversary party. And it's interesting because you get to see, there it is. You get to see what like this is the side by side that you got to do, right? Is
tell me. Were you guys going to tell me about this, or you coordinated this on the side?
No, I just had it in my fridge.
No, I know. I'm just
going to at you on every tweet. But
I need to remove myself.
All right, you first.
Oh, he's gone. All right. So, I mean, the thing that I wanted to do this year that I couldn't at least for content, because I discovered this when it came out instead of 6 weeks beforehand when I could have done something about it. But is, I mean, the thing you want to do with this is drink it side by side with the actual, the finished product and kind of compare and contrast. I'm not gonna do that tonight, but I think you can drink this beer raw and see how, I mean, Central Waters is known as having a very balanced kind of and relatively light, I think, barrel aged stout. It's not super barrely. It's a little on the fudgy side. And to me, the thing that's really interesting about this beer is seeing, you can kind of think about what you drink in the bourbon barrel stout, and you can mentally kind of process that that transformation that occurs with 6 to however many months it is in the barrel. Usually it's 6 to 9 months, I think. And then of course all those barrels are blended together to smooth out the kind of differences that you have with the amount of bourbon in the bottom and all that kind of stuff. So it's fun, and I'm gonna pour this on top of the residue from a wild sour ale, which is probably not the best thing, but whatever.
Yeah, I used my water glass and cleared out a glass.
Water glass. Just kidding.
For between beers, which I rarely do.
And the thing that I like about this is my general impression of Central Waters is like they have an imperial stout called Satin Solitude, which is very good, and it's I would say it's kind of mild. It's kind of on the mild side, not super bitter, not super roasty. A lot of their dark beers are very fudgy, and this is not.
No, it's definitely not fudgy.
Bitter, licoricey imperial stout, and it doesn't taste like a Central Waters beer. And I think that's what's so fun about it, is that you can see the reverse engineering happening. You can say, okay, we want this beer to finish smooth and vanilla, chocolatey, and we know that it's going to absorb a lot of oak and those kind of vanilla notes and the sweetness from the barrel. So we're going to have to amp up the bitterness, which is going to fade in time with time in the barrel, but also absorbing the bourbon characteristics. So it's just, I don't know, it's just fun. Like I next year for the Beer Baron column, definitely going to do a side by side with assuming they release it again, although it's not on their schedule for 2021, which I was able to obtain recently, and I still need to publicize that. But but I'm not. I imagine that they will release this again, because I'm sure they don't have every release on their schedule. So, but this is super fun beer to see, out there, and I think they kind of explain it. Yeah. It says the backbone of our barrel aging program, here for you in its raw form, big, robust, and smooth.
Yeah, it's definitely robust. It's like you said, it doesn't taste like we get some Central Water stuff here, but not a boatload. Although I've been seeing more of it come.
Is it mostly the Brewer's Reserve stuff? Just the barrel?
Yes, that's almost all we get. Okay. We get some stuff. I just happen to see the Fat Elvis at a bottle shop that I go to that tends to get some of the not mainstream shit that we get. I was like, oh, I'll pick that up. I literally picked that up this week. And when you said that, I'm like, I have one of those. it was a fortuitous moment. That's all. But it's like the Central Water stuff that we get is almost always their Brewers Reserve. I did see they had their regular stout there. I was also buying stuff for my Cicerone class, so it's like I can't just buy everything that comes in here. Yeah. So I have to be a little mindful of what I'm buying.
They've got an interesting model with that stuff because, their regular beers like Rift IPA and Mud Puppy Porter and Shine On and some of the Wisconsin Red, some of those beers they sell a lot of in Wisconsin. But then, and this is pretty much the same thing for every, super regional or brewery that ships to a lot of states is you're putting the stuff that you're sending to faraway markets is your best stuff. It's the nobody's going to buy an IPA from Wisconsin in New York unless it's really outstanding. Or people are hearing a lot about it for some reason, and none of that's going to happen with just a regular beer. But if you've got a reputation for being making great bourbon barrel stouts, people are gonna you can send a pallet to one distributor in New York, and bottle shops will take 2 or 3 cases of it. And that's enough to spread around and sell through pretty quickly. So, and even if it doesn't, it's a bourbon barrel stout. It can sit for a while and still be good. If one of the things with these breweries that I mentioned earlier, coming from New York or Virginia or whatever, all the way to Wisconsin, and they are super sensitive to hazy IPAs. You don't want to drink those when they're even 6 weeks old, maybe. So, 2 months is like,
that's a death knell for that beer.
The IPA, right? So, especially these really aggressively hazy ones. Like if it's kind of hazy, then I feel like the ones that are the hazier they are, the more time sensitive they are. So that's been an issue, and and I think that's why they send 10 cases to Wisconsin, and that's it. So I don't know, what was the whole point of that? Good. I think somehow.
Yeah, y'all. You were talking in general about this Central Waters and yeah.
So I guess like the counterpoint to that is an imperial stout can sit on shelves for 6 months, but I doubt that, Doug. I doubt your bottle shop bought. I doubt that's going to be there that long because it's interesting. It's got a cool label, and it's from a brewery that people know as doing well with dark beers. Even I think in New York, there's probably a reputation for that.
Well, they have, and the thing is like people who are beer heads will know Central Waters. Like even if you're not from the Midwest, you're going to know what Central Waters is. You go, oh, cool, they got some Central Waters stuff, and just there's certain things I see that they just recently got some Three Floyd stuff, so they got Zombie Dust and things like. We haven't had that here. Like, so I got some. The Zombie Dust was good. I liked Gumball Head. I thought Gumball Head was way better than Zombie Dust, but that's me.
It is.
Yeah,
I think Gumball Head is excellent. That is an excellent beer.
But that also speaks to Chris's point that he made way early in the stream about how the bigger guys are pushing their stuff out further.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure that's the same thing because Three Floyds was a pretty tight geographic range for a long time, and they closed their brew pub.
I was gonna say they closed their brew pub. Are they still doing? What happened to the distillery next door? Do we know anything about that?
I am not sure about that.
Yeah, 3F or whatever. Like when I was there, it seemed like they were just almost debuting that. And when I was there, it was months before the pandemic. So yeah, it was. Yeah. So it's probably not working out. But you're right. In order to because they used to do really good. I thought that they used to do really good business in that small brew pub, and people loved the food there. And when I was there was almost a line even in the takeout stuff. So, yeah, they're gonna have to pushing their stuff towards Doug is a way for them to hopefully make up some of that money if that's what they want to do. So, yeah.
Yeah, the thing that's kind of disappointing about that, and I mean, who knows how it actually goes once the pandemic's kind of over. But I mean, that was clearly framed as like, this is a permanent closure. Sorry, and with all the investment that they had in that space and the kitchen, and I hope it comes back. I mean, I'm sure they know what's up, and I don't have any. I have no particular affinity, I guess, for Three Floyds and their business model and stuff, but it seems counterintuitive to just shut it down and say, no, this is over, period, and not leave it open for reopening, because unless I mean, we don't know anything. What looks very successful from the outside is not always successful from the inside. So,
right, and that's one of the things too. I would really like to tell you what my first road trip's going to be, but I don't know, because I don't know what it's going to look like after this. I don't know when it's going to end, and I don't know what it's going to look like. I got friends in my inbox saying, come to Fargo, North Dakota. Are you coming back east? Are you going out west? And I don't know, because I need to look at the landscape and see what's going on.
I will say that as someone who's been pretty conservative about doing anything during this, until we're really far into the vaccine realm, I don't think I'm going anywhere.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere, but I'm starting to think about
it's going to be really hard for me to go to restaurants.
I haven't done shit. I've done less than you. So I think that's why I'm more itching, Doug. I've done less than most. You know this is true. And I think that's why I'm more itching, but I'm not going to, after all this time, compromise what I've been doing this whole time. It's not going to happen. But at the same time, though, I'm going to be thinking probably more than all you guys about what I'm doing next. And probably till it ends, I'm probably going to be really, really thirsty to get on the road. And pun intended, damn it. And I don't know. We just had a brewery close recently here, really close to me. I'm not. I don't, unless Chris wants to say a name, that's cool. But I would just say like they weren't the best beer around. But it's just disheartening to hear a brewery go down. They're great people too. From what I know, great people, great family brewery. It's just actually in a really good location. I think. Again, their beers never blew me away, but they're in a good location. Up in the Dells, which is a great location for the summer. And there's really no other breweries up there. I mean, there's two up there, or at least there were two. And it's just disheartening. So I don't know, when you look at the map of craft brewers and you start to plan like I used to, and I used to see like 7 in one city, and I'm like, that's my city. I get to like 7 in 2 days or 7 in 1 day. And now I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know, who's going to be left, what's going on. Chris says that a lot of them are just hanging on. That's what I keep hearing. So hanging on ain't good. And then, not trying to get political, but then you still have our government. Do we give small businesses money? Do they really need it? Do they really need it? Motherfuckers. So anyway, I think it's time to wrap, folks. Before I even get into that.
Boulevard.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even get to Boulevard, but can we just do a very quick summation of that, Chris?
Yeah, so I guess let's go to Boulevard.
I even provided the best fucking segue to that of all time, and we wasted that opportunity.
We went
Boulevard,
to Pickles.
Kansas City, one of the best regional breweries in the Midwest, in my opinion. They have great beer. Doug, you talked about their quad. Everybody talks about their Saison. What is that? Tank 7?
Tank 7.
People talk wonderful things about the brewery. The lady was there. She said it was fantastic for the kids. I'm pretty sure they ate there. All around until this point, really good brewery. They're owned by Duvel, though, I believe. So they're not independent.
The Omegang, by the way.
Right. But and that's kind of an exception to the rule. People don't think of Boulevard being like owned by Big Beer, but they are owned by a group of Duvel who has Duvel, and then they own a couple breweries here in Wisconsin. I'm sorry, in America. So I'm just trying to set this up for Chris, for people who don't know Boulevard, but most of the people who watch this stream should know Boulevard.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing I'll say about Duvel Mortgat is it's not Heineken. It's it's a small. It is foreign owned, but it's small, and I get the impression that they are largely kind of independent. I mean, not obviously. I mean, you're owned by, but I mean, I think Duvel bought these breweries to let them continue to do what they do. That's just kind of my industry observer impression, and that's not based on any inside information. So,
totally agree.
So I think just the beer world in general had some pretty good, despite this ownership issue, which some people think is an issue, some don't. I think Boulevard had a pretty good kind of store of goodwill built up with the beer world, and this, I think, God, was this all this week? It was all this week.
Yeah, it was.
Early this week, a female former employee came forward and leveled some pretty intense, I guess you could say, allegations against discrimination and harassment by supervisors and people at the brewery. There were things like, I mean, just like really bad. I mean, like, guessing who's, like, taking two female employees and having them stand up and guess which one is pregnant, and then when she said it's me, somebody said, like, well, of course it's not you. Like, who would just really, really bad objectification type stuff. And then probably worse is that there were she did, the allegation is that she filed complaints and they were constantly ignored, or like she was told that there's nothing we can do. There's like kind of stalking type stuff with bad guys. I think we know about these kinds of things, and following people around and kind of grooming for, like, so all this happened, and the company put out a statement like pretty quickly after this. She posted it to Reddit, and they said, we take this stuff very seriously, and basically said, we looked into it and found that these claims were without merit, which, I mean, it was a very, I don't know, Doug, how would you characterize it? Like, it was a very confident statement that there was nothing.
Yeah, it was not something where they left a lot to interpretation. They said, we looked into this, we found no cause to investigate any further. Case closed was kind of how it came to me. I mean, is that how you read it?
Yes, that's a good way of putting it. And then the next day, they put out a statement saying that one of their executives was fired, and that they were looking into it further, and that we, like, kind of maybe saying, like, we kind of jumped the gun, maybe. Yeah. And then the next day, there was a statement put out that was, like, this is again posted like Reddit or something, that was claiming to kind of be speaking on the behalf of, like, the workers, like the employees of Boulevard. I think it was like kind of signed by the employees of Boulevard or something like that, about how they were taking charge of the brewery. I believe it was the president of the company resigned, and the HR director resigned, and they said that they were outsourcing HR from now on. And like, I guess the direct, like, initially the direct correlation that we had to this was, and it was very, to me, it felt very similar, was Founders. And I don't know about you guys, but I haven't bought any Founders beer since,
nope.
They were being, I mean, it was pretty clear that there was some bad culture there. And it's bad when the diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant that you hired to fix your problem leaves in like 3 months or something and puts out a statement about why she left because it was bad. And then that's it. That's basically the last we've heard of that story. Well, so, I mean, when it started out, I'm like, oh, that's too bad. Like, I kind of like Boulevard, and now I'm not going to buy any more of the beer. And that's okay, because there's a lot of good breweries.
Well,
and
go ahead, Chris.
And then it was like, oh, wait a second. Maybe they are doing something. And then it was like this, like, and I don't know. I mean, I think the employees are under I mean, they're seeing all this happening, and they're hearing all the talk of like, well, Boulevard's done, Boulevard's canceled. And I think that they want it, you work at a place and you want it to succeed and you want it to be good, even if there are parts of it that are bad. And that was, I mean, honestly, that was part of the statement that they had too, that the employees had, was that this is not this is not a one-off. There are problems here, and we have been, toiling under these problems for long enough, and now we are taking kind of the initiative to fix them. So I don't know, but like I also feel like we have these data points are like 3 statements, and there's agendas, and there's all of these things inherent in all of them, and I don't know, like, what do you like? Okay, you go to the bottle shop tomorrow, and this is not an intangible thing, because they just put out a barrel aged barley wine called Deep Flux with it was a collaboration with 3 Floyds. It is very, very good, very good. I bought a 4-pack, and I'm like, I had 1 bottle, and I'm like, oh, this is really good. And I had a second bottle. I'm like, oh, and I put the 2 bottles away in the cellar, undusted, and like now I want more. The question is, if I find a bottle shop that has that, which doesn't sound like I'm going to, do I buy this with a clear conscience? And I know that this is a personal decision, but if you guys were in that situation, how do you read this?
Where are they at now? Meaning, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt if you fuck up once. You can fuck up once. We all fuck up. And with all due respect, a lot of this is old white guys who are owning this, who are making these decisions. And with all due respect to them, many of them don't have, what's the word I want to use, life experience where they understand these kind of things. But my point is that if you eventually get it soon, like it sounds like they're trying to here, again, the first statement, horrible. But the second one seems like, and if it's a day, somebody got into somebody's ears and said, look, motherfuckers, this isn't,
it's just bad.
It's just bad. So the fact that they were listening to people is a good thing for me. Again, your first response is probably, again, your first response is bad, but if you can eventually get to a place to where you know you fucked up and you're trying to do what you can, I'm good. If it takes 3 days, 3 hours, 3 years, I'm good. My problem with founders is it's never going to happen. So that's why they're dead. Boulevard's not dead to me because I don't really even know where they're at. I haven't followed this story as tight as you guys, so I would need to know what the third statement is and where we're moving from there. But they fired someone? That is way further than founders ever got. Founders didn't fire anybody. Founders was like, we'll just pay you and we'll just get you away. They fired somebody. So there's some accountability. Somebody did something, and I don't know who got fired, why they did. Someone got fired though. And to me, that's kind of progress.
Yeah.
So you're trying to do something. You effed up and you're trying to do something. There's times, again, you can't control what your employees are going to do all the time, but you can control how you handle that and how you move forward. So like, and that's where this is where founders on my shit list and still will remain, because they haven't done shit. Like, they knew there was a problem and then they just paid the dude to go away, and then that's it. Like, it sounds like, I don't know. Does it sound like Boulevard's trying to?
It sounded like a bit of a reckoning, didn't it?
No?
It sounded like a bit of a reckoning, didn't it? Like they were like, fuck, like initially they're like, well, if we just do this, we'll just kind of poo-poo it. And then that didn't work. And the thing is that's the thing that, Rod, thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, that's something Chris said, but I think I wasn't really fully grasping, was the idea that they're like, hey, you are part of this. And that's the thing is, like, there's a power to the people element to this, that like, so it's like not just that, but like we can validate our opinion with our dollar. Like, as Chris said, I'm not going to buy founders until they straighten their ship. So far, they have not done that. Boulevard feels a little bit more like, hey, this shit, we're going to try to do it, and then that didn't work, and then now there's a little bit more repercussions. So I'm not saying I won't buy Boulevard if they get their shit right, but at the same time, right now, I'm still in flux, if that makes sense. So
I think it's important to preface this with what I'm about to say with, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
My outside read on what happened and kind of trying to connect the dots is this complaint surfaced and the leadership team said, shit, what is this? We gotta respond to this. Okay, well, we looked into this. We found no merit and we dismissed the claim. Okay, well, we'll say that we value this. We value, inclusion and all that stuff. And then, okay. And then the employees who actually know what the hell is going on saw that and said, what the hell is wrong with you guys? This happens all the time. It's still happening. And she was right. This did happen. I was there, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, there were, this president was like a boss of, like, he was a Duval, I think he was president of the Duval USA unit. So and he's got a boss somewhere, and they saw this and said, is this true? What the hell's going on there? And he had to, and he faced the music. And I think the employee statement is their way of asserting, making public maybe the kind of assertion of the flexing that they did in getting that guy fired and getting what sounds like a toxic HR director or whatever, getting that person out too. So, where this leaves Boulevard, I feel like it's I don't know. I mean, everybody is going to draw their own conclusions. I tweeted about all three of these statements in the past week. So if you want to go on my Twitter and check it out, read it for yourself and draw your own conclusions. But I don't have any hesitation in buying a Boulevard beer that I want to buy. I mean, I don't buy a ton of Boulevard beer because Wisconsin versus Missouri, but Tank 7 is a boss beer, and Saison Brett is a Boss beer, and Deep Flux is a Boss beer. So,
I'm reserving judgment.
Way more. That's way more that's happened in that than Founders ever had to fucking do. Like what Founders just was like, that's not true. Fuck this, and then just like these people had real repercussions from that, and good, fucking good. But like,
you hope that the people who were listened to, you hope that the people that were listened to will continue to be listened to, and the culture will change. And Rod, I'm pretty sure that the guy who was fired was, I mean, he was the Boulevard president, but I think he also had this title of Duvel USA, whatever, like.
Yeah, there's apparently two of them, so yeah.
No one will argue. I don't know anyone who argues about the quality of
Boulevard beers make good beers. It makes good saison. Yeah.
We universally. So Chris, thanks for that. I'm not I'm reserving judgment. I'm gonna see how it goes here. It's good to I saw a lot of good things happen after the initial bump up. I mean, you can have an initial we all fuck up, man. So it's just about how you respond to
how you respond. Yes.
Right.
And
so
one other thing that I wanted to say about this topic is this happens a lot. This issue, women being treated like shit in the beer industry, is way more pervasive than you think it is, dear listener. There are a couple women in the industry that I talk to, friends, they're friends, this week. And, they kind of related some experiences at places that, you would be surprised. Like,
that happened there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like places that are respected in the beer world, just like Boulevard, this was happening there when you respected them. And there's other breweries that you respect where it's probably happening. And,
and then you see what happens too when you're a woman and you step out. The initial thing was no, this didn't happen. So again, you see why, in my opinion, this happens far more than we hear about.
Yeah, I mean, it happened after she said it, but it also happened when she told her bosses about it.
Right. And
they said no, it didn't happen, and then she told their bosses that boss's boss, and nothing happened. That's the problem.
Right. And it sounds like she even did it, because a lot of times people are like, well, why didn't you say something the second it happened? Like the second it happened, It sounds like she did, and it didn't. You know what I mean? So it's just really frustrating. I'm with you, Chris. I'm sorry.
So take these. I guess my advice is to take, if you're listening and looking for advice from this, is to take this seriously. That's one reason why I'm a little reluctant to say, yeah, Boulevard's fine still, because this stuff is around and it's bad. And honestly, I think like a local brewery that's treating their one female employee like shit, if they see this happen to Boulevard and Boulevard hurts because of it, that's good. And it's not good for Boulevard, and the extenuating the circumstances of what's happening at Boulevard going forward, that's good. But the example that this could send to, I don't know, it's not fun stuff to talk about, but I feel like it's important with, to know that this is probably happening at a brewery near you, or
for sure
near you, or a retail.
No, for sure, for near all of us. That's the thing, is we think this is like these small little pockets. It's fucking not.
No,
it happens every goddamn place.
Sexism in the beer industry is widespread and pervasive, and the fact that this story did not surprise me this week did not make it okay.
Any better, no.
But it's I don't know.
So,
all right, man, it's been like 2 hours and 15 minutes. I think we need to kind of
3-hour podcast.
So, real quick, Rod, what's Chris's Twitter handle, by the way? It's right there. He's the Wisconsin Beer Baron, Rod. Probably came too late to put that together, but that right there is his Twitter, right there, buddy. So follow that, and you'll get Chris.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
Chris, we need to figure out what you thought of your 3 beers. You had 3. How do you rank?
Oh, like
what do you think was the best? What do you think? And I'm not saying worst
quick
doesn't
summary.
that sucked, but yeah.
Quick summary of your beers.
Yep.
I'm gonna say that the Wild Sour was my favorite, and Fat Elvis was my second favorite, and the Hop was third. But really, they were all.
Let's see it. Did you see them? Do you still have them? Let's see them.
Oh yeah. So
maybe
my fave, Cellar Wild Sour. The second would be the Fat Elvis.
Damn, you got good ones today. Yeah.
And this is probably more a style thing than anything else.
That's
the
one I want. I want that one.
All of them certainly above replacement level for beers, no doubt.
Awesome, Chris. So people can follow you there at the Wisconsin Beer Baron on Twitter. People can find both of us in action the third Wednesday on this stream here, Badger Beer Hour. Look at that. Rod was already following you. Cool. And Chris, for the record, Rod's a great follow too. And Rod does beer, talks beer, and he talks gaming. Real quick, I wanted to show you before you left, Chris. Daniel ordered a burger and ate that shit.
That's the perks of living in New York City, where you'd be like, I want a burger at fucking 11. Like, great.
Right. And it just shows. Right. So, Daniel, what was on the burger? Tell us. What was it?
Better not be fucking pickles.
It better have some pickles.
Pickle on a burger, you gotta have that. Like that's.
We didn't even get into mustard on a burger. We didn't even get there. I'm just gonna let
that'll be another discussion for another day, because we will have other food related discussions for sure.
Yes, Chris. Chris, we need to sign you up for fall. We need to sign you up for the fall. Come back and we'll talk about what's going on in Wisconsin in the fall. Hopefully at that time we'll be closer, if not seeing each other. So thanks for coming on, Chris, for gracing your presence with us, because
get out of here.
Doug's a little rough around the edges, especially with them pickles.
Yeah, I'm a dick shit.
And those top sheets. So he's.
I hate really they shouldn't like what they like, but not liking pickles is just weird.
It's really bad here. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
Chris, talk to you soon, buddy.
Later, Chris.
In 5 minutes if you stick around.
Stick around.
All right, Doug.
You first. Now go.
I'm drinking a Hopalicious now for the after party, so that's what I got for that. I still didn't finish this one. It's good.
You know how it is, man. If some shit doesn't sparkle your fancy, fucking dump that shit. It's okay.
You already know. I had the Lazy Monk heavy breakfast. Finished that. Coffee, beer. This guy's a German style guy, so it might have been like a dunk or something with a whole bunch of coffee. Not a whole bunch, but enough coffee. It was good. Good times. And I had the raspberry dessert, but I didn't talk about it because we were talking. Raspberry Delight, 9%.
And that was from Lazy Monk as well, right?
That was from Lazy Monk as well. I don't know. I almost finished it. I'll probably finish it a little bit more in the end. Not too raspberry. I wanted a little bit more tardy, but subtle raspberry, pretty good for that. 9%. I didn't drink the 9%. I mean, I drank it, but I didn't feel
like it. Okay.
Yeah. What's going on over there?
All right. So lowest one was this. Like I said, it was more like a barley wine. It was supposed to be a winter bock, aged in bourbon barrels. Okay. Next one was the strawberry lemonade gosa with the terrible label. Would be really good when it's really warm out. I have more of these. I probably will save them for, when it's time to work outside.
Horrible label, though.
I just don't like the label. Whatever. Third is the Fat Elvis.
I'm jealous you got that shit.
Yeah. It was good, but the winner, literally by a lot, with just this fucking black wheat wine. That thing was nutty and smooth and didn't drink anything like 9.2. It is. I need to find more wheat wines. That's the thing. I need to find more of those because that is just, it's so goddamn smooth. All right. Anyway, that was a winner.
Excellent. Cheers, Chris. We'll catch you on next month's BBH. Yeah, you ending if it's your watch PBH. It's interesting because you guys aren't in Wisconsin. Do you guys get something out of it?
Hey, man, I watched a Badger Beer Hour every freaking time. This last week I couldn't because I had other things going on. That's the first one I've missed. I love that shit.
Yeah, we have fun. We talked to a retail guy. Here, cheddar cheese, mushrooms, lettuce, tomato, French fries, sliced pickles. Sorry, Doug. And an avocado.
A lot of shit on there I would not eat on any burger. Raw tomato, raw onions, avocado, and pickles. No
onions.
I don't like raw onions. If you saute those shits, I will eat the hell out of onions, but I just don't like them raw.
So there's definitely.
It's not that I don't like onions. I just don't like them raw. I just like them cooked.
JH's asking Daniel Fisher's. I believe where we follow him. He's Dan on tap almost everywhere. Yep. Yes.
Do that. Follow JHG.
Don, yes. Oh yeah, Dan's on tap's a great follow. So Doug, you see what our guest is next week. I don't know if you want to talk about it before we get out of here.
Going north of the border, baby, Antheralt. And let me tell you, folks, if you have not followed her, she's astoundingly awesome. Like, just she writes long form pieces on feminism, and I mean, like, feminism, like, here's this feminist queen and who is a princess from the 15th century. She likes, I'm telling you, the amount of depth that woman has is far beyond anything I could hope to accomplish. I'm really.
So how the hell do we deal with this?
Oh, it's going to be great because we have a fellow Torontan on. She is from the same place as our fellow co-host Casey.
But we're the simplest dudes ever, and she seems like
no. I'm telling you, it is super beautiful. She took a whole tour through Belgium to sample Belgian beers. She'll fit right the fuck in. I'm telling you, it'll be great.
I'm right. I'm just worried about her talking over us. Is what I'm. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
not over me.
Coming in and talking to two toddlers.
Oh no, I'm going to tell you, it's not that she's like highbrow. It's just that she's fucking smart. She's funny as hell. She's just really well versed in a lot of different things. It's going to be a really great show.
Cool. So she's the complete opposite about of the video I'm about to lead us out with.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's do that. Let's lowbrow it out for the rest of our folks.
Yeah. Doug, see you next week.
Cheers.
See you guys next week. Let's see. How do we do this? We get rid of Doug. We get rid of Greg. Bye.
Not your neighbor.
Yeah, you live right here.
No.
You say,
I'm not
Shelly,
your neighbor.
We have a trailer
I'm not
coming
your
in.
neighbor. You just live there. You're not my neighbor. These are my neighbors because I like them. You're not my neighbor. You're on my shit list. And I'm warning you, I'm not somebody to have on your shit list. And you're on my shit list. And if you think I'm going to have a fucking nigger tell me he's not moving off my driveway, you can't use that language. I can use the word nigger all goddamn motherfucking
You're
day long.
harassing us now. You're harassing us.
No, really? Did
You're
I touch him?
harassing
Did
us
I
now.
assault him? Did I hurt him?
Yes, that's an insulting
Fuck
word.
you, and fuck you. Good. The cops are coming. Tell them I called y'all niggers. What the fuck ever. I didn't call y'all niggers. I
You
called that
cannot,
fat
you
ass a
cannot
nigger.
say that. I will move this
Listen,
truck right now
when
for
they
your
pass a law that I
trailer.
can't say nigger, please bring it to me in writing.
I will move the truck
Okay.
right now. Do you need it now moved?
He's sitting in a store. He can't even come here. Since 8:05, he
All
can't
you
pull
have
to
to
my
do is
house.
say, Shelly, move it, and we need the
Listen,
trailer to come
I tried
in.
to talk to you. Did I not
You
tell
told
you
me about my
a while
fence.
ago? Did I not tell you, have her go to the house so I can talk to you peacefully? Did I not say that?
You told her to go
Did I
away. You
not
were rude
tell
to
you
my
have-
mom, and
Fuck
then you
your
started
mom.
talking about
Fuck
my
your mom.
fence.
You can't put up fencing. You
But
can't put
all
up
I need to know is that you have a trailer coming through.
Hold on. You can't put up fencing. You can't put up a greenhouse. You can't put up new fencing. You can't use this easement as a major road without going to the variance board for zoning.
That's aside from the matter that you have a
You
trailer
can't
that
walk.
needs to come to
He's
your
tried
driveway.
twice to come. He took pictures of you twice.
That's
He
fine.
took to
All
show
you
the
got to do
cops.
is communicate. Say,
You
move
can't
the truck.
with her. You can't with
I
her.
was right here, and you wanted to talk about fencing.
I asked you to make her go to the house so I could talk to you peacefully.
About-
Did I not?
about fencing. I had no.
I had a lot-
Why?
I told
You want
I'm
to talk
gonna
about
explain a
fencing?
lot
I got
of
to
it.
unload a truck.
This is your problem. You don't shut the fuck up. I told her, go to the house so I can talk to you peacefully. You refused to. She grabbed your arm and took you like a rag doll away from me because she didn't want you talking to me.
Because you're yelling about my fence.
I have a right to. What you're doing
That's
is
fine, but
illegal.
I need to help you so that you can get your trailer
You don't have to
in.
help. Listen, I don't need help. Trust me, honey. I don't need help.
You need me to
I
get
need
out of your
y'all
way.
To quit being a fucking nuisance.
You
every
need
day
me
in
to
this
get out of
goddamn
your way.
neighborhood. That's what I need. This truck.
I want to get out of your way.
Okay,
I
what
just need
about
to know
moving it?
when.
Now, how about
Okay.
How about
Okay.